Throughout history, they've been known by various names: hired soldiers, paid fighters. In Japan, yohei. In Russia, nyemniki. In medieval days, sellswords. And in modern times, private military contractors. However you want to describe them, it all comes back to the same thing: mercenaries. The concept of mercenaries has come into the mindset of many in the West, with news headlines of the Wagner Group in Ukraine, Blackwater in Iraq and Afghanistan, and DynCorp in the Balkans. The usage of them, however, dates back millennia, and they have been very influential around the world in shaping nations and determining leaders. Today, like many things in an active conflict zone, the rules are laid out by the Geneva Conventions, specifically Article 47, and these are supplemented by the International Convention Against the Recruitment, Use, Financing, and Training of Mercenaries. Many nations have laws pertaining to their citizens becoming mercenaries, including the United States, the United Kingdom, and others, but this hasn't stopped them from being used. In fact, they are key figures in a number of conflicts in the modern era around the world. The usage of mercenaries throughout history dates back thousands of years. Xerxes used mercenaries when he invaded Greece in 484 BC. They were common during the Warring States period of Chinese history from around 475 BC to 260 BC, and there are records dating back to 1200 BC of the use of mercenaries in Egypt. While they can be seen as an easy solution to a possibly complex problem for some rulers, the usage of mercenaries has often been frowned upon by political thinkers throughout the years. Niccolò Machiavelli discussed the usage of mercenaries in his work The Prince. In this treatise, Machiavelli explored political and military strategies, providing advice to rulers on how to maintain power and navigate complex political situations. Regarding mercenaries, Machiavelli expressed a cautious and pragmatic perspective. He noted that while mercenaries could be useful in certain situations due to their specialized skills and availability, they also pose significant risks. He highlighted that mercenaries might lack loyalty and commitment to their employer, as their primary motivation was financial gain rather than a genuine allegiance to the ruler or state. This lack of loyalty could lead to unreliable behavior on the battlefield and potentially result in defeat. Machiavelli emphasized that a wise ruler should prioritize having a strong and loyal citizen army over relying heavily on mercenaries. He believed that a citizen army driven by patriotism and a sense of duty to protect their homeland would be more dependable and resilient in times of crisis. Such an army would be more willing to sacrifice for the state's interests and could be trusted to defend the ruler's power. Sun Tzu, the renowned Chinese military strategist and philosopher, did not specifically mention mercenaries in his renowned work, The Art of War. However, some of his principles and strategies can be applied to the use of mercenaries in warfare. Sun Tzu emphasized factors such as loyalty, discipline, and strategic thinking, which have implications for the use of mercenaries. He emphasized the importance of aligning the interests and motivations of soldiers with those of the state. Again, mercenaries might lack the same level of loyalty as regular soldiers, as financial gain is the primary motivation. Sun Tzu might caution against relying solely on mercenaries due to the potential for wavering commitment. Sun Tzu stressed the role of effective leadership and discipline in ensuring the success of military endeavors. The challenge with mercenaries is that their discipline and obedience might be more difficult to maintain compared to a dedicated, well-trained standing army. Sun Tzu's emphasis on adaptability and strategic thinking could be applied to managing mercenaries effectively. Leaders employing mercenaries would need to consider their strengths, weaknesses, and how best to integrate them into a larger strategic plan. The principle of building trust and rapport among soldiers could be relevant to the use of mercenaries. Establishing a level of trust and rapport with them could enhance the reliability and performance on the battlefield. One of the largest treatises on military strategy was the key guide for the Byzantine military, the Strategikon, which was written by Maurice, the emperor, from 582 to 602. While it doesn't focus exclusively on mercenaries, it does contain some references and principles related to their use. The manual emphasizes the importance of a balanced military force and the potential challenges associated with employing mercenaries. The Strategicon suggests that a successful army should ideally consist of a combination of regular troops, local levies, and mercenaries. This combination was believed to offer a well-rounded and adaptable force capable of handling various situations. Again, like the other two, the manual advises caution when using mercenaries as they may lack loyalty and discipline. It suggests that mercenaries could be used effectively in specific roles, but warns against relying solely on them, particularly in critical situations. The Strategicon emphasizes the importance of strong leadership when employing mercenaries, suggesting that experienced commanders leading those mercenaries could ensure discipline and effectiveness on the battlefield. Now, it does acknowledge that mercenaries are motivated by financial gain, so it recommends ensuring regular payment to maintain the morale and loyalty, but it also warns against excessive dependence due to the mercenary nature. The Strategicon suggests integrating mercenaries with regular troops and providing them with training in Byzantine tactics to enhance their performance and integration within the larger army. These are three examples ranging from approximately 496 BC to 1532 AD from three very different parts of the world that all provide caution about using mercenaries for a number of reasons. Now, if some of the greatest political and military thinkers of history advise caution about soldiers of fortune, why have they been so popular throughout history? Well, they've been used for various reasons due to practical, strategic, and logistical considerations. Mercenaries often possessed specialized skills and training that were not readily available in regular armies. This made them valuable assets for specific tasks or campaigns that required particular expertise. Hiring mercenaries can provide a quick boost to a military force, especially when time was of the essence. Regular armies might take longer to mobilize, and mercenaries could be employed swiftly in urgent situations. Mercenaries could be hired on a temporary basis for specific campaigns, then disbanded, which would be more cost-effective than maintaining a standing army during peacetime. In some historical periods, states didn't maintain large standing armies due to financial constraints or political considerations. Employing mercenaries allowed rulers to avoid the expense and logistical challenges. Now, while conflicts happen in distant lands or foreign territories, it can sometimes be logistically challenging to deploy a regular army, so hiring local or regional mercenaries can help provide a practical solution. Mercenaries could be employed as part of a political alliance or an agreement between states, or they could serve as auxiliary forces to support allies or vassals. As warfare evolved over time, different military strategies and tactics emerged. In certain periods, mercenaries were able to provide a flexible and adaptable approach to the warfare. In societies where citizen soldiers were not the norm, mercenaries filled the gap. Some states lacked a tradition of conscription or had social structures that made it difficult to raise a citizen army. Some rulers saw hiring mercenaries as a way to pursue personal ambitions and expansion without risking the lives of their own subjects. This could be especially relevant for rulers who sought to conquer distant lands. In some cases, cultural or religious beliefs discouraged certain populations from engaging in warfare. Mercenaries might be seen as a way to avoid violating such beliefs while still pursuing military objectives. In some cases, the use of mercenaries has worked out well. General Hannibal Barca employed a diverse range of mercenaries, including Gauls, Iberians, and Numidians, in his campaign against Rome during the Second Punic War. These mercenaries provided Hannibal with a versatile and adaptable force that played a crucial role in his early successes against the Roman Republic. Normans, who were originally Norse warriors, were employed as mercenaries by various rulers in southern Italy. They played a significant role in the campaigns of Norman conquerors like Robert Guiscard and his brother Roger, contributing to their success in establishing the Norman Kingdom of Sicily and other territories. Swiss mercenaries were renowned for their military prowess and were hired by various European powers during the late Middle Ages and Renaissance. Their disciplined formations and pike tactics contributed to the success of their employers in battles like the Battle of Marignano and the Battle of Pavia. The Ottoman Empire's Janissaries were an elite corps of infantry made up of Christian slaves converted to Islam and trained as soldiers. Their loyalty and effectiveness as mercenaries played a crucial role in many Ottoman military victories, including the empire's expansion into Europe. The Italian Wars involved various European powers competing for control over Italian territories. Mercenary companies such as the Landsknecht and the Black Bands played pivotal roles in battles during this period. The 30 Years' War involved a complex web of alliances and conflicts across Europe. Mercenary troops, including those from different nationalities and backgrounds, were extensively employed by various factions, contributing to the outcomes of battles and campaigns. Now, the use of mercenaries has sometimes backfired throughout history, leading to unfavorable outcomes for rulers and states. In an attempt to seize the Persian throne, Cyrus the Younger hired a large force of Greek mercenaries known as the 10,000. Despite their initial successes, the campaign ended in disaster when Cyrus was killed in battle. The Greek mercenaries were left stranded deep within enemy territory, and their long and treacherous journey back home, as recounted by Xenophon in Anabasis, became a testament to the perils of relying on mercenaries. During the 100 Years' War between England and France, both sides employed mercenary companies. However, the conduct of some of these mercenaries led to widespread pillaging and atrocities against civilian populations. This not only undermined the ruler's reputation, but also created resentment among local populations. The French army, consisting of both nobles and hired mercenaries, suffered a significant defeat at the hands of the English forces during the Battle of Agincourt. The French mercenaries, particularly Genoese crossbowmen, were hindered by the mud and rain, making them less effective in battle. Various European powers hired mercenary troops during the War of the Spanish Succession, including Dutch and British forces. However, the cost of maintaining these troops and the potential for misconduct and indiscipline among the mercenaries contributed to financial strain and logistical challenges. During the 7 Years' War, both the French and British employed mercenary troops. While mercenaries could offer numerical advantages, they often lacked the same level of commitment as regular soldiers. This led to vulnerabilities on the battlefield. And British forces in the American Revolution employed Hessian mercenaries, who were German soldiers. The presence of foreign mercenaries fighting against American colonists fueled anti-British sentiment and recruitment efforts for the American Continental Army. These examples demonstrate instances where the use of mercenaries due to factors such as loyalty issues, misconduct, or unfavorable battlefield conditions led to negative outcomes for the employing rulers or states. They illustrate the complexities and risks associated with relying heavily on mercenaries in military campaigns. Now, drawing from the principles outlined in the Geneva Convention, as well as insights from historical thinkers like Maurice with the Strategikon, Machiavelli, and Sun Tzu, there are several arguments against the use of mercenaries in modern military conflicts. Mercenaries may not be subject to the same rules and regulations as regular military forces. This could lead to a lack of accountability for their actions, including human rights abuses, war crimes, and violations of the laws of armed conflict. Mercenaries are primarily motivated by motivational gain, which can lead to diminished loyalty to the employing state's cause. Their lack of emotional investment and allegiance to the nation's interests may hinder their willingness to make sacrifices or fight with dedication. Integrating mercenaries into a military structure can be challenging, leading to issues with command and control. Differences in training, discipline, and objectives may hinder effective coordination and jeopardize mission success. The use of mercenaries might escalate conflicts by providing the illusion of a risk-free intervention. Employing mercenaries could lead to a situation where states are more inclined to engage in conflicts, knowing that their own citizens are not directly at risk. Relying heavily on mercenaries could erode a state's sovereignty, as military decisions and actions are outsourced to external entities, potentially undermining a nation's ability to shape its own destiny. Utilizing mercenaries raises ethical questions about the morality of warfare. Relying on soldiers whose primary motivation is financial gain might be seen as exploitative and inhumane, particularly in conflicts where civilians are affected. Mercenaries come from diverse backgrounds and might lack consistent training and adherence to international humanitarian law, and this can lead to a variety of conduct and performance issues on the battlefield. And dependence of mercenaries might lead to short-term gains at the cost of long-term stability. Mercenaries could exacerbate existing conflicts, and their sudden departure after a campaign's end might leave power vacuums and further destabilize a region. While mercenaries might seem cost-effective in the short term, the financial burden of hiring and maintaining and compensating them can become excessive over time, potentially diverting resources from other essential sectors. Employing mercenaries might disrupt the natural development of a nation's own military capabilities and expertise, inhibiting the growth of a professional and loyal military force. Now, some arguments are put forth in favor of using mercenaries or private military contractors, despite the historical cautions and criticisms. PMCs often employ individuals with specialized military training and skills that could be beneficial in specific operational contexts, such as counterterrorism, cybersecurity, and intelligence gathering. They could be rapidly deployed, making them valuable for addressing urgent security threats or responding to crisis situations more swiftly than conventional military forces. In some cases, PMCs might offer cost-effective alternatives to maintaining a standing military force. Governments can save money by hiring PMCs for specific tasks or campaigns, avoiding the expenses associated with training and sustaining a full-time military. The use of PMCs can potentially lead to fewer casualties among a nation's own citizens, as the risks are borne by private contractors rather than military conscripts or regular soldiers. Employing PMCs allows governments to avoid public resistance to conscription or involvement in conflicts that might not have broad public support. Relying on mercenaries or PMCs can mitigate domestic unrest that could arise from sending citizens to fight in foreign conflicts. Now, in conflicts characterized by asymmetrical warfare or unconventional tactics, PMCs can provide expertise in navigating these complex environments. PMCs offer a level of flexibility where the services can be engaged for specific operations without committing to long-term military interventions. Now, unlike regular military forces that might need extensive logistical arrangements for withdrawal, disengaging PMCs from a conflict area can be quicker and more straightforward. In conflicts involving non-state actors or insurgent groups, they can offer a more adaptable and targeted response compared to a traditional military force. Rather than replacing regular military forces, they can supplement them by performing those specific roles, and that does allow the regular forces to focus on a broader strategic objective. Some PMCs have access to advanced military technology as well, along with equipment and intelligence resources, which can enhance a nation's military capabilities. The discussion on mercenaries has revealed a nuanced perspective spanning history and modern contexts. While mercenaries have been employed for the specialized skills and rapid deployment, concerns have persisted about their loyalty, accountability, and ethical implications. Insights from historical thinkers like Sun Tzu, Machiavelli, and Maurice with the Strategikon caution against over-reliance on mercenaries due to their potential to undermine discipline and sovereignty. The examples of successful utilization, such as Hannibal's campaigns and the role of Swiss mercenaries, underscore the potential benefits of incorporating them strategically. However, the conversation also emphasizes the pitfalls, including instances like Cyrus the Younger's ill-fated expedition and the problematic conduct of mercenaries in various conflicts. In the contemporary landscape, private military contractors do offer expertise, flexibility, and cost efficiency, yet ethical concerns and legal complexities exist. Ultimately, the consideration of using mercenaries must balance the advantages with historical lessons and the broader implications for warfare, accountability, and state sovereignty. We hoped you enjoyed this video as much as we enjoyed creating it for you. If you found the content valuable, here's a quick favor we'd like to ask. First, give this video a big thumbs up and hit that like button. Your likes not only show appreciation for our hard work, but it also helps this video reach more people who might benefit from it. Secondly, if you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. By subscribing, you'll be the first to know whenever we release new content, ensuring you never miss out on any exciting updates. Also, don't forget to follow us on our social media channels to stay connected beyond YouTube. We love engaging with our community and sharing additional content, behind-the-scenes glimpses, and updates on what's coming up next. And lastly, if you want to take your support to the next level and help us continue creating quality videos, consider joining our Patreon community. By becoming a patron, you'll gain access to exclusive perks and be an integral part of shaping the future of this channel. We genuinely appreciate your support, and it's because of viewers like you that we can keep producing content we're passionate about. So thank you once again for being a part of this journey. Remember to like, subscribe, follow us on social media, and check out our Patreon if you can. Until next time, take care, and we'll see you in the next video.